In today's video, we're going to be visiting the Western Wall. The Western Wall is one of the most visited places in Israel for tourism. It gets about 2 million visits every year in normal years. And here we see the Western Wall in the background. And if we look around the photo, starting from the most obvious point, we see the Dome of the Rock, which is just above the Western Wall to the north. That's the northeastern side of the Western Wall. And then below the Dome of the Rock, to the right, we can see the wall. From the corner, you could say, from the northern corner all the way over to the Gray Bridge. We'll be speaking about the bridge too, and we'll be speaking about the area to the south or to the right of the bridge. So the Western Wall Plaza itself is considered to be the holiest place to the Jewish people. It's actually the second holiest place, where the holiest place is the Temple Mount, which is above it and behind where the Dome of the Rock is. In this photo, we can also see to the right side the dome of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is considered to be the third holiest place for Islam. Now, the Western Wall itself, the area that we can access, the open area of the Western Wall, is actually just a small segment of the entire Western Wall of the Temple Mount. The entire wall is nearly one half of a kilometer. It's 488 meters from the southern corner to the northern corner of the Western Wall. I'll show you a map of the old city of Jerusalem. The Western Wall is the southeastern corner of the old city of Jerusalem. This is a map in Hebrew of the old city, the walled city of Jerusalem. The entire compass of the wall of Jerusalem is 4 kilometers. The area within the old city of Jerusalem is 1 square kilometer. And the Western Wall is the big rectangular area on the right bottom corner, or the southeastern corner of the old city of Jerusalem. And the Western Wall is the western wall of that rectangular, or the western side. And the area that is considered the Western Wall Plaza is to the southern side of this area. I hope that is clear. So when we speak about the Western Wall, we could ask many questions about this area. Let's bring up a few. Why do Jews pray here at the Western Wall, and why is this important? What is above and behind the Western Wall? We spoke about that a bit. The Dome of the Rock, the Temple Mount, and if we dive deeper in, we will understand that the importance of the Western Wall has to do with the importance of the Temple Mount. What about an historic overview? Who built this wall? And when did Jews start praying here? And we also might ask what's going on below the Western Wall Plaza, because there is something going on there. So if we focus in now on the question, why do Jews pray here? Let's take a look at the Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch is the Codex, the code of law, of the religious code of law for Jews, for Judaism. The Shulchan Aruch tells us, this is a translation into English, of course it's written in Hebrew. It says, the following laws apply when one stands to pray. If he is in the diaspora, meaning if he is outside of the land of Israel, he should face Eretz Yisrael. As it is written, they will pray to you, which means to God, by the way of their land. And their land is the land of Israel. And he shall focus his thoughts in the direction of Jerusalem, the Beit HaMikdash, which is the temple, and the Holy of Holies. So we see from the first paragraph that if he is outside of the land of Israel, he needs to face the land of Israel. And that is the custom. Jews all over the world face Israel when they are praying. But actually, if he is in Eretz Yisrael, if he is in the land of Israel, he should face Jerusalem. As it is written, they will pray to God via the city which you have chosen. God chose this city, the holy city, the city of Jerusalem. And he should focus his thoughts on Beit HaMikdash and the Holy of Holies. So if he is in the land of Israel, the halakha, the code, the Shulchan Aruch tells us if he is in the land of Israel, he should face Jerusalem and he focus his thoughts on Beit HaMikdash, the temple. If he is in Jerusalem, he should turn to face Beit HaMikdash. If he is in Jerusalem, he should face Beit HaMikdash, and they will pray towards this house. The house is the Beit HaMikdash, the temple. And he should direct his thoughts towards the Holy of Holies. If he is standing behind Beit HaMikdash, to the west, the location of the Holy of Holies, he should turn his face to the east, towards the Holy of Holies. So this is exactly what is going on. Jews gather at the west of the Temple Mount, and the Dome of the Rock, according to most scholars, both religious and secular, in the academics, most scholars believe that the Dome of the Rock is the actual place where the temple stood. The Temple of Solomon, the first temple and the second temple, are believed to have stood here at this exact place. And I emphasize that it is believed that they stood at this place because we do not know for a fact, because no archaeological work can be done on the Temple Mount because of political sensitivity. So we do not have any hard evidence that this is the place, but we have many clues that lead us to believe that the site of the temple is the same site where the Dome of the Rock stands today. And we see that the Shulchan Aruch, the Halakha, has directed us that Jews should face the Holy of Holies in their prayer. So being that the Western Wall is the closest open area facing the Temple Mount, is what has led to this custom of Jews praying here at the Temple Mount. By the way, this has not always been the place where Jews gathered to pray since the destruction of the temple. Of course, when the temple existed 2,000 years ago, Jews would come to the temple itself on the Temple Mount. But after the temple was destroyed and Jews were banished from the city of Jerusalem by the Romans and forbidden from entering the city, for many hundreds of years, Jews prayed at different locations as close as they could get to the Temple Mount, at times on the Mount of Olives, which is just east of the Temple Mount, at times at the eastern wall, at times at the southern wall, and over the last many decades, Jews have gathered here at the Western Wall. Although before 1967, when this area was controlled by the Arabs, most of this area was not accessible too. It was also all built up. And only after the 6-Day War, when Israel liberated the old city of Jerusalem, this area was cleared out and the Western Wall Plaza was established. Now, just some more review for the area that we are looking at. We see the bridge in the middle of the photo. The bridge leads up to the Temple Mount. It leads to a gate that is called the Mugrabi Gate. And the Mugrabi Gate is the only gate where non-Muslims are allowed to enter the Temple Mount at certain times during the day. I will hopefully make another video speaking about the Temple Mount and visits to the Temple Mount by non-Muslims. So if we are not Muslims, and I am not a Muslim, I am a Jew, we can only access the Temple Mount through the Mugrabi Gate. I'd like to take an aerial look at the Temple Mount. Here, this is a drawing of the Temple Mount, more or less as it is today. In the center of the mount, we can see the golden globe, which is the dome of the rock, which we have already described is the place where the temple stood. To the southern part of the drawing, we can see the gray dome, which is the Al-Aqsa Mosque on the southern part of the Temple Mount. And in the front, we can see the Western Wall Plaza. We don't see the people here. This is a drawing, and the artist chose to draw the photo with the area without any people. But we can see photos that give the same idea that we see here. I want to show you a model of the temple, the second temple, that stood on the Temple Mount. This huge model is at a waiting area at the Mughrabi Gate. When we enter the Mughrabi Gate to go up to the Temple Mount, we pass through a police security check, and here there's a waiting area with shade that has a large photo of the Temple Mount, and it has this huge model of the second temple. So we can sit here or stand and examine the model and learn about the dimensions of the Beit HaMikdash that stood on the Temple Mount 2,000 years ago. And all of that was, of course, a short video overview. I hope that we will be able to visit these places together. And you feel free to contact me for strategic briefings or for tours. And I look forward to hearing from you. Be well. Shalom.